Yeah, time for the headline makers this morning. Stephanie, did you catch that? Did you catch that?
Maybe.
Probably. She calls me doll.
You're taking this one, doll?
I am taking this one. Yes, headline makers this morning. Alex Armstrong, Stephanie Tecci are both with us. Good to see you this morning. Once again, let's talk about water bills. Alex in the mirror.
Oh, you know, I'm so sick of it. It's just I'm sick of the bills.
I do apologise.
It's not your fault, Stephen. Not your fault. I'm not sick of the story, but I'm sick of hearing about how much more we're all going to pay. Yeah. So this story here in the Mirror is about household bills possibly going up 74% by 2030, as if people aren't spending enough. My recent water bill was £104. I couldn't believe it.
What, for a month?
I think it was for a couple of months, but still, that's still a lot of money for a water bill.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
For a two-bedroom apartment. It's not a four-bedroom house. But, you know, I think people are going to get really obsessed about this because we all had that big scandal with the sewage recently as well.
But it's the same water companies pumping sewage into our seas.
They've been hit with this massive bill for that. But you know what they do? They pass it back on to the taxpayer again. So they never really have to suffer the consequences because they'll just go, well, we'll just put water bills up. So, you know, record fines. The CEO of Thames Water is making 1.4 million last financial year and 2 million the year before that. So, I mean, we've really got to be looking...
Well, have some sympathy for the poor person. They've taken a 600 grand pay cut.
I'll take that. Yeah. I'll take the 600 grand pay cut for that kind of money. But I think people are going to be absolutely livid.
It's not fair, is it?
74%.
It's ridiculous, and they're saying the reason for this increase of the water bills is so it goes towards a £96 billion programme of investment, and this is a company which is in £60 billion worth of debt as well, and it's just the numbers are not adding up, and also I think it's quite bad that they're making us pay more for their debt and for these programmes which we don't know nothing about, to be honest. We don't hear much about it.
Manage it better.
You know, I think
better.
I wonder if that record investment's going into their paychecks. That's the one thing that I can see here. But you know what really gets me as the spokesman at the end here? We're committed to keeping our bills low and affordable for everyone. Rubbish.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I'll
rubbish.
try a little bit harder. Stephanie, this one's broken my heart. Sorry, Stephen. Do you want to lead us?
No, you do this one.
It just really upset me. Apparently we're shutting out the elderly because we're all self-ordering on the self-service kiosks.
Yeah, campaigners are starting to complain because they're saying, look, you know, when you go to all of the biggest food outlets in this country now, you're just seeing more self-service, which obviously most outlets are doing this just to cut down costs, number of staff, but you do get elderly people who do go to places such as, and I've seen it many times where, like, you know, I'm going to McDonald's on a cheat day, and then you just see elderly people kind of confused and not knowing how to use the self-service, and there's not many staff around that can...
Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I really struggle at those, and I love my tech. But every time I go with my husband, it's like, you're not doing it right. You're pressing the wrong button, you're pressing the wrong button. So I can't do it.
No, it's horrible. And there's, like, hardly any staff now to help people, to show people. So campaigners are saying that, you know, food outlets need to really start thinking how they're going to be considering elderly people who are not, you know, technology, you know, up to date or advanced with these kind of machines, and they're just going to go to places where there is no self-service and they can get the service they need. I hate stories like this because I just think you do need to think about different age groups in your dining establishments, and I think...
But don't you think that's just the way the world is at the moment? I think it's so sad. Like, we're shutting out the elderly. I think of my granny. I mean, she wouldn't be able to cope with ordering on McDonald's, on a self-service kiosk. And then when you park now...
How would Joan get on?
Joan would be all right. She's quite tech-savvy, actually. But Dorothy would struggle with McDonald's.
Is that your grandma?
That's my granny.
I just think they need people
Parking
on hand.
apps, everything's all technical.
You just need people on hand to show people who are... And it could be of any age. It doesn't need to be the elderly. If someone's not, you know, up-to-date with technology, don't alienate them.
Yeah, and it's happening a lot, isn't it, alienating the elderly?
You know the one that really got me? I don't know if you've done this before. There's an Amazon Fresh. You can walk into it. There's no checkout at all. You just walk in, pick whatever you want up, and it charges you on the way out. So maybe that's the solution here.
Yeah, it just works out what you've picked up.
Yeah, I mean, until it doesn't, and then that's probably when people will be up in arms. But maybe that's the solution to this, actually get rid of the checkouts altogether, which I reckon they'll do, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, with the if you can just literally walk in, pick up what you want, walk out again, then what's not to love?
Do you think that's the way it'll go with restaurants as well? You know, like fast food chains, you go in and it just kind of catches what you eat and then...
Well, hopefully one of those Tesla robots isn't serving you. Otherwise it will really give you a hard time.
I don't really know why it's so difficult to just be able to go to a counter and say, I'd like a Big Mac or whatever, and a Diet Coke.
And it's like, if it's not broke, like, you don't need to fix it. I think sometimes we're just trying to push things a bit too forward.
Yeah. What's this in the Telegraph, Alex, about a diet of woke bias in the BBC?
Yes, so I know the GBNEWS viewers are going to go up in arms at hearing about this, but, you know, this is a report from some campaigners about BBC impartiality, saying, you know, they're constantly breaking their own rules. And, you know, some of the examples given here, you know, 55 stories about slavery, which is a rate of 1 per week from September to Christmas. It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. So on top of that, they're looking across the range of the shows that BBC do. So Doctor Who, there's been episodes where they're talking about trans characters, questions whether the Doctor Who is gay, questions on whether there's alien pronouns. In Waterloo, they had students revolting against slavery. In Casualty, they had someone talking about trans surgery before the watershed. And BBC Radio 4 had to apologise because they attacked J.K. Rowling for some bias. So I think this is all about BBC impartiality. And they're saying, are they being impartial when they're criticising others for not being?
You don't have to be impartial on these types of show, though, do you? I mean, I have to say, I knew there was all the hoo-ha over the Doctor Who thing, and I watched the Doctor Who, and I just thought, well, it's fine. It's addressing a topical issue, and they did it in a sensitive and decent way. I don't think there's anything wrong with the Doctor Who thing.
I think, do you know what I think it is? I think
there's a clip of Doctor Who if you'd say, wow, it was good.
Yeah.
You know, I think for people who pay for their TV licence, I think what they want to see is just things that are a little bit more grounded in their reality. You know, a lot of this stuff is pandering to specific groups on a lot of occasions, and they just don't feel like they're
reality.
relatable.
We're talking about a time-travelling alien.
Maybe not Doctor Who.
No.
But, you know, I think what people are feeling is that there's a lot of this on Netflix as well. Wherever you go, you can't sort of escape it. So I think there's maybe people are feeling this bit of backlash, and I do understand. It does sometimes feel like it's shoved down your throat a little bit. And I think that's what people are getting upset about.
Yeah, well, look, I can understand some of that. Sometimes there does seem to be a never-ending avalanche of wokeness.
It does feel like that sometimes. Like, you know, I always applauded the BBC for their creativity and the content they produce, but I feel like now it feels like it's becoming oversaturated, and it's just becoming like a tick boxing exercise of, okay, we've got a gay Doctor Who, we've got a black this. Like, they just want to make sure that they're just hitting the quota in that sense, and I feel like in that sense it doesn't make it seem like it's authentic, you know. It's just something to say, okay, we're keeping up to the times, where sometimes you need to know what your viewers really want, and they don't want to be preached at. They want to see good original programming.
And do you know what as well I think it is I don't think people mind seeing strong women, female leads and gay leads, and I think the way they do it is like, I'm strong because I am a woman, not I'm strong because of my character. And I think that's what people want to see, is good, strong female leads. You had it, Terminator, Sarah Connor, beautiful example of a strong female lead bonks years ago. I mean, you know, it was why can't we do more of that?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, you seem on the fence.
No, I'm just. I mean, look, I think ultimately that's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Ultimately, but I do think sometimes you need to knock on the door a bit more loudly at times. I don't know, it's a difficult one.
Let us know what you think on that story. Steph, now we are both Swifties.
We are Swifties indeed.
And not only is she an incredible artist, but she's also driving the comeback of vinyl. There's nothing she can't do.
I love vinyls. I just like that little crackle when you put them on. But they've had a fantastic year. This year there's been vinyls have sold about 5.9 million units worldwide. And Taylor Swift has been a part of the resurgence with her 1989 album. That was the most sold vinyl album this year, followed by the Rolling Stones with Hackney Diamonds. And I think it's just so nice to have physical music in your arms, because I think everyone's just listening to, like, you know, Spotify, Apple, or streaming services. And I think it's a nice experience to go to a shop, buy a vinyl, and then play it when you get home. Yeah.
Stephen?
I've had to listen to Taylor Swift.
Had to.
Yeah.
Had to be in the key
And, look,
words.
and you know what? It's all right. I mean, I don't object to it.
He does
Yeah.
like it.
I don't object to it. I think it's perfectly all right, but it's just pop.
Yeah.
No,
It's just-
you're wrong.
It's just disposable pop. And there's nothing...
Female Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is a female Ed Sheeran. That's a good way to describe
there is
her.
nothing wrong with disposable pop, but I just find it very odd that people go on about, oh, she's this incredible artist.
Oh, she's a good
She is,
show
she's
woman.
incredible
She's
songwriter.
It might be a good
performer.
show, yeah.
Well, they had a council in America actually declared it the year of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like, with all the things they could be doing with their time, they managed to pass through a bit of legislation that declared it the year of Taylor
She
Swift.
is incredible. She's made over £1 billion, Steph, you were telling me.
Yes.
In the Eras Tour. And do you know why it's called the Eras Tour, Stephen? Because
No.
she's had so many different genres of music. So pop is just one of the eras. She's had
need-
rock. She's had, help me, acoustic.
She's had gosh,
folk,
so many.
folk.
Folklore.
Yeah, so listen, is what I'd say.
We need to
Listen
interview
Swift.
Taylor one day.
She's no Dixie Chicks.
Oh, I like them as well.
I like Dixie Chicks.
Can
we all get along?
To be perfectly honest, the only name I could think of off the top of my head, I don't no idea what the Dixie Chicks are.
Country, and Taylor Swift is country as well. Just
Don't
so we all
believe
know.
a word I say. Thank you both very much indeed. We'll see you
Thank you.
later. Let's get a check on the weather with Aidan.